welcome back to Conversations with Ching-Yun. So following from last week's conversation about my coming to America as a teenager at the age of 14 without my parents and how I survived the first 3 years in America. And today I'm going to be sharing with you about my college life at Juilliard. So I entered Juilliard and in previous episode I mentioned that I had an injury when I was 17, and that injury took such a toll on me because, you know, all my classmates, they were performing such big repertoire, and many of them came from really famous conservatories from other countries, and thinking that I, as a 17-year-old, I won many awards already and was performing, and all of a sudden it all came to a stop and I couldn't play anymore. There was even a thought that what if something happens that I will never be able to play the piano anymore? What am I going to do? That thought went through my mind many times. So I must say, college did not start so well for me. Started with injury, overcoming the injury, and because of injury, I feel that my confidence was affected so much that I became uncomfortable practicing at Juilliard. It's a little bit strange that I am speaking about this publicly, as most people never knew that side about me. When I was in college, I was not the most confident person. I was so miserable. And because I think it all started with the injury, the practice room had a little window. I was practicing and it sounded horrible and I couldn't play as I wished. So I went through that for some time, and I wish at that time there was someone that I opened up, about my troubles, and the person could share, that experience with me and try to help me overcome. But what happened when I was in college was that I, maybe besides my mother, I didn't open up about this. I felt that if I shared about my troubles and what was going on with me, that would make me look a little bit like a weak person. So I never wanted to share that with people. So on the outside, it seemed like everything was fine. But because of the injury and the thing that followed, many of my performance suffered, my competition suffered. So I must say, college was a very difficult time for me. So I guess everybody is different. At Juilliard in New York City, such a big city, there are a lot of outgoing people that enjoy the time and made many friends. But for me, college was a time that I stayed pretty much a lot of time alone by myself, although I did have some friends. But I practiced in the practice room and spent a lot of time with myself. I wrote, I even thought about becoming a writer, and I read about psychology. I was interested in all kinds of subjects. And I did make some really close friends that, we're still in touch to this day. They are all over the world, I must say. That's the good thing about studying at a school like Juilliard, is that your classmates, they become music professionals, or maybe not in music, but they become leaders in many other fields. And to keep in touch with them, to have such close friends when you are young, that makes such a big difference. Now looking back to in my early 20s, or when someone is in college, I think it's so important to find out what your passion is. Some people find their passion earlier on. When they're very young, they know right away. Some people, they go through periods of time of searching what they really want to do. But I just think that 20s is such an important time to develop, because it's going to affect the rest of your life. 20 to 30, this time is your life pacing is so fast, things are changing. You're going from a teenager to adult, and then from adult you from a student to being in the society. It's such an exciting but difficult time. And I think the fact that everything is new and difficult, it's something to embrace it. And the more conversation you have with other people, like people your age, or finding a mentor. I think finding a mentor is so important. Somebody who is encouraging, somebody who will just listen to you attentively and try to solve problems with you. If you have someone like that, it's fantastic. it can solve so many of your life's questions, because it's a time of unstableness. Things are happening, you don't know where you will end up. Maybe you stay in America, maybe you go back to your country, but 20s is such an exciting time. And if you can work so hard in your 20s, there's no time to waste, and really strive for your dreams, that will influence the rest of your life. So I think about it, sometimes I see some students in their early 20s, they are probably playing video games, they are going out to eat with their friends, and everybody is insecure in some ways. But I think it's important to say that now is my time, and I am going to work hard, I'm going to make something of myself, and things will happen, even if it doesn't happen right away. Eventually, things will happen. So, that's my thoughts when I was in college. Even though I was very, very shy, painfully shy. Sometimes I couldn't even speak to people, I was so shy. But I made sure that I worked very, very hard. I was one of the most hardworking people. There was a saying that some students like to practice next to me because when they see me practice, they will practice more. That's exactly what happened. And even though things didn't work out sometimes, I never gave up on myself. And finding that mentor. Now looking back, I would suggest finding that mentor. Anybody, open up and speak to people, and letting them know what you need. So that's my my conversation with Ching-Yun for this Thursday. And stay tuned. What happened after college and masters, and how I became a pianist, a traveling concert pianist. See you.